Want to give a warm welcome to everybody here this evening with me. My name is XR Frosty, and today the field is coming in for a incredible F2 race here at Jeddah. It's going to be quite an interesting one, as these boys are going to go from OSQ straight to the sprint and then right to the race, trying to maximize those points as much as they can. I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. This is my first time commentating in quite a while, so hopefully I don't mess very many things up. But as you're going to take a look here, we are green. One-shot qualifying. Here's how it works for the folks at home. These drivers all get to run one lap that will determine the lineup for the sprint race. It all goes off of lap time, so you can see live in the top left corner of your screen how the drivers are running based on speeds. Fastest laps will put you on the pole. So we're going to put our telemetry set up here. Once again, just want to say thanks, everybody, for being here. We really appreciate it. And yeah, beautiful. So as you can see here, I'm riding along. That's weird. They change very slowly. But let's take a look at JB, driver the number 24. I believe that's the Trident machine. I'm not too good with these F2 team names. But driving in the Trident car, he's currently sitting 10th right now. Again, fastest lap time will determine where you are. As the sectors continue to be finished, you will see things continue to stack up between these guys. So yeah, but with the Formula 2 cars, they don't have any overtake. There's less gears, and the shifting is a little bit slower. So everybody here in this race knows that technicality is going to be one of the biggest things to look out for, as you make one mistake and it could shave tenths off of your lap time. So we'll take a look here and see what happens as JB moves up to 8th. Let's go right on board with X5 Tom, as he gets ready to finish his lap, as we are looking at a potential pole sitter for the Carlin team and for the sprint race. If he gets a really nice corner exit, it looks like he is going to net a very nice lap that's going to put him straight to the top, and you can see the field continue to file out behind him. So there you have it. A very nice lap by the Carlin driver. That's going to put him straight on the pole. X5 Tom UK going to give us a brilliant start for our sprint. And yeah, there's your lineup. We have a solid group of drivers here tonight. You can see Tom gets a 4-point bonus there for winning the pole. But here's how we line up. We got Tom for Carlin, Ghouls for Campos, CSKL as well for Campos. Those two are going to look really good constructor-wise if they can maintain this. CSKL, again, P3, and then we have Place, P4, Iron Boogs, P5, Someone, number 1, P6, he's with Trident, Galactic Snipes, oh, that's a Bob, JB, and Titanium Matt. These drivers, once again, they are going to be pushing the absolute limit, as they are not only just going straight to the race, but they also have a sprint race right before it that will determine the starting lineup for the race. Not only that, but also bonus points for where you finish. So there's a lot on the line here as we are looking on board from the F1 Paddock Club here in Saudi Arabia. Once again, I want to say hello to everybody tuning in. This is Frosty, and we're looking forward to having a good show. You can see in the top of your screen, we have the starting timer as drivers continue to load in here. And then we'll move straight to the grid. So here we are. Formation lap to start us off. You can see all these drivers, again, they move straight up to the grid. Got to warm those tires up because they know how important tire temperature is in this game. F122 with the updated tire model, when your tires are cold, it affects you, so they know exactly what they have to do. It's going to be incredibly important for all of them. As we're going to take a quick look one more time at how the lineup goes. Again, I'm not very good with team names just yet, but looks like we may have gone invert. Sorry, I didn't know that. Looks like for the sprint race they do inverted grid. I had no idea. I'm not very good with this stuff, but thank you all for bearing on with me. So it looks like you go for the inverted grid that puts Matt on pole, JBTC in second, Bop in third. Ooh, I like that. It just automatically switches now. Galactic Snipes fourth, Someone number 1 fifth, Iron Boog In P6, Plays 7th, CSKL 8th, Ghouls 9th, and the fastest lap of Tom will start in the tail for having the fastest lap. So this is a lot different from F1. In Formula 1, the bigger cars, where you line up off the speed is where you're going to start for the race. But in F2, it looks like the pole sitter gets bonus points and they invert. So that's pretty interesting to take a look at, as this is the... Take a quick look here at my roster lineup. That is the Carlin car. You can kind of see where we have the Red Bull Junior drivers and everybody all around, but it's pretty cool. I'm learning as we are figuring out what we're doing, so we're going to take a look here at Titanium Matt's on board as he is getting ready to start this race from the pole. We'll see what these guys can do. Again, every position matters, every upshift, every single margin of hitting the gas. These guys know that it is going to take a lot, and you cannot afford to make a mistake, especially in this type of race car, as the drivers begin to line up for their grid. We'll take a look here. It's 10 laps for the sprint. Not going to be a very long race, but they know that every point matters here in this series. So we're going to take a quick look and see kind of how we shake up going into the race. So you can see the field just slowly lining up. Let's take a quick look at our lineup. Or not lineup, I apologize. Our kind of broadcast position. Top left, you'll see the starting order or where the drivers will line up. Bottom right is your track map. And top right is the driver focus. So you can see here. See if I can get a better camera on it. Looks like I won't. There we go. The 5 lights are on the grid. And we are up to speed. Lights out. And away we go here for the sprint race in Saudi Arabia. We have Galactic Snipes is going to have a drive-through penalty. He jumped the start, and oh, they're already wrecking out back. Looks like it may have been Ghouls and someone number 1. Tough start for them as, again, top 8, I believe, gets points, so that's going to hurt. But JB already up to the front of the pack here. We'll see how he was able to pan out. As, again, Galactic Snipe sits right on his tail in second, but he is going to have to complete a drive-through within the next 3 laps. So we'll kind of see how that lines up. Again, no overtaking these cars, so it is surely driver skill as, again, this is custom setups, but cars are unequalized, so the team you're on does not necessarily matter as much as it normally would. So it is solely off the driver skill, as you can see here. JP has a lot of sparks coming out of the back of him as we ride on with Galactic Snipes. And take a look right behind him. It's Bob for Carlin, I believe that is. Yep. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, you can see Bob currently sitting here right in third. He's got a nice look at the fight for the lead. And they are 4 abreast going in to the sharp sections of Sector 3. And oh, Bob gets the wall. It's like he went sideways into it. Tough break for him as number 1 is also around out back. And that's going to shake things up too, as Bop was looking very promising. But now the charge is on. It looks like Snipes has yet to complete his drive-through. We'll see if he jumps into the pits this lap, which it looks like he will. And that's going to... Oh! Okay. Interesting play, I guess. But... Snipes, again, he has a drive-through penalty, so if he does not complete it by the end of lap 3, then that will be a disqualification of some sort. So he's going to have to be careful there, kind of minding his moves as JB gets passed by Plays for the 2nd position. And the rest of the field will fall right into. This is one thing I love about Formula 2. You can see, even though the cars aren't as fast and they don't handle as well as some drivers would like, they are all nicely wrapped in along each other. So this is going to create a lot of great racing here. Let's take a quick look for the lead here. We're going to ride on board with Plays as he is trying to get away from the group behind him. He's going to try to take a look here on Galactic Snipes. So I have my team lineup here. Bop was driving for High Tech. I apologize for that mistake. I'm still kind of learning the team names and all that for F2. But yeah, you can see now a gap starting to form as I believe DRS will begin next lap. And you can take a look here. So it looks like Galactic and Plays all over each other. We got a nice battle for third. You can see sparks going everywhere between JB and CSKL. And oh! Big wreck. massive hit. The whole field's involved. JB goes slamming into the wall. He loses a tire, and it looked like he just lost grip of that race car, and that caused a very big crash. So that's pretty unfortunate for him. A lot of other drivers got damaged, but he's the only one who's credited with the DNF. So that is only going to put us under a sector caution, which surprises me because that is a lot of debris down on the racetrack, but that is not the way JB wanted to start his sprint, as again, points matter a lot, and it looks like he is definitely going to be on the outside looking in, starting this race right afterwards. So again, Galactic Snipes has to pit, so we will see what he opts to do is play stocks all over the back end here within 0.5 of a second and dropping to see kind of what he can do as he gets a nice run off the corner exit. Again, this is the Carlin driver. One thing I love about Carlin's team is that it tells me right on the halo. That helps. But yeah, so there he goes. Galactic goes a little bit wide. They got a side-by-side battle for the lead. Take a look, can Plays get the clear? Is it going to be Galactic fighting back? Again, Galactic has to make a pit stop, and yeah, it looks like Plays is going to get it. So again, let's take a quick look back down through the field as we saw a lot of cars with a solid amount of damage here. OXZ Ghouls was one of those drivers that I don't believe got too much damage, but he was towards the back. And got a nice view of that crash, so he's hanging out in 8th right now for Campos Racing. I love how it says it right there. But yeah, definitely a wild start to the race. Still having really close racing for the front as I'm going to go swing back over there. We'll see what Galactic chooses to do. Again, he has to pit soon, and it looks like he's going to take that opportunity so he doesn't get credited with the disqualification. So now you can see the fastest lap times are starting to pop up on the board. CSKL with a 1:42.7. That's a pretty good lap by him. Titanium Matt gets a 5-second penalty. He sped going into pit road. It looks like he was one of those that had to repair damage. And Ghouls gets an even better lap, about 0.5 up a 1:42.2. So that's pretty good by him, as he now sits in the 6th position. We were just riding on board with him. So now the field begins to get spread out a little bit. The closest battle it appears we have, that if you even consider it a battle, is between Bop and Iron and Plays and CSKL, which they're all closer than each other. And oh, that's pretty big. Plays gets a 3-second time penalty. He cut the track a little bit further than the FIA liked him to, so that is also going to play an effect here. As you can see, CSKL, he's been kind of the sleeper so far this race. We haven't talked much about him. I thought that he was involved in that crash, but he looks to be doing all right. And now, say the race ended right now with penalties in effect, he'd be the race winner. So we'll see kind of how he can continue to maintain what he's doing. Is we're going to go ahead and go for a onboard, I guess they like to call it, Fox Crank It Up. We're going to call it JBRL. That was really bad. But until the end of this lap, take a listen to these cars. Well, folks, I have to go ahead and be right back. We will return in just one moment. Please, and looks like we have a crash out back. It was someone, but quite literally. Anyways, I have to go ahead and be right back. So enjoy the battle for the lead, and we'll be back by lap 6. Want to send a quick apology to everybody at home as we are returned, and not much has changed as again the battle between Plays and CSKL continues to heat up as again Plays is under a little bit more pressure because he knows there isn't any ERS in the Formula 2 car, so he has to go, and with Plays stalking him right now with that 3-second time penalty, CSKL is, we got to crash out back at Bob. Find a look on it. Nowhere really to be seen. It looks like he may have spun on a curbing area, but yeah, no, Plays really has to go right now because if with the 3-second time penalty, he could be credited with a P2 finish right now, if not P3. So he knows that he needs to hit the gas and, as the scheme likes to say, lick that stamp and send it, as he is currently trying to maintain his track position regardless of penalties. So Bop DNF'd, and it looks like he's gonna go ahead and exit his car for the day, even though he does have the race left with him. So definitely a questionable decision, but yeah, that's interesting. So here comes CSKL, he gets the lead, and Tom right there with him now. It's a 3-horse race for the lead. I haven't talked about Tom very much since the beginning of this race. Again, he got the fastest lap, so he has 4 bonus points on him for Carlin's team. But they are starting to continue to climb back forward as, again, this is a very skill-based series. So as these two continue to battle it out, Tom is just slowly inching in as he knows that he can get second place right now off the penalties, but he wants just that much more. He wants that checkered flag in his hand, and he's doing everything he can to get it here. Riding on in third, we have another crash out back. Looks to be someone number 1. Goes around, he keeps his car all right. And again, a nice battle for the lead right now, although it may not be long-lasted as Tom is on the way. So let's look a little bit back further in the field. I'm just going to take you all for a quick onboard perspective while these two battle. We have Ghouls running in 4th piece, just about 4 seconds away from, or I apologize if it's something, 7 seconds away from Tom, who's having a respectable race right now in P4 as his teammate leads. Iron Boog, driving the HP car. He is currently sitting in 5th, a nice gap between the fields. All he has to do is really run perfect laps. Galactic Snipes, following a pit stop, he had a time penalty he had to serve. Or I apologize, not a time penalty. He had a drive-through that he had to serve for jumping the start. That's going to punt him back to P6. And somewhat number 1 currently sits in the 7th position. We have 3 DNFs on the field right now as these guys are starting to get close. Nice timing as they are side by side with 3 to go. That's a Bop. Spun off the curbing crash. JB got involved in a crash with multiple drivers. He was, for the rest of the field, luckily the only one to DNF. That just left us with a sector caution, and Matt looks to have DNF'd as well. But again, the fight for the lead continues on. It Plays has fallen out of the lead, so that does not help him with the penalty situation because he can not only get overtaken by CSKL, but also get overtaken by Tom. So we'll kind of see what happens there as we take a quick onboard with our 3rd place runner. As you can see, again, the gap just slowly inches in. That's one thing we love about Formula 2 racing, is even though there isn't as much perks into F2 as there are in F1, the racing is very close and it's purely off of driver skill, and you can see all 3 are hanging out together. So we'll kind of see what happens here as we continue to monitor. This could be a little bit of a flash to the future, as right after this we go straight into the Grand Prix. So we'll kind of see how these guys finish it out. But yeah, look at Tom. He's now really closing that gap in on Plays, as you can see here. He's coming right up to the outside. If you look behind us here on the rear view, you can see the amount of sparks coming out of his back end, and DRS is deployed. He is really wheeling and dealing right now, trying to get up to second, because he knows if he can get around his teammate with the time penalty. Oh, I apologize, it's not his teammate. If he can get around a driver with the time penalty, then he could have a shot at getting the leader and possibly winning this race after starting all the way in the back, regardless of having that pole position in OSQ. So he gets up to second place. He's got 2 laps to do it, The question is, will he be able to? As I want to quickly take a look on board here, make sure they are the same team. So they are. That's weird. That's probably one of the things I have not picked up on yet. I saw the colors were the same, but they have two completely different paint schemes. But it looks like I'm just a little bit delusional. So that puts Tom up to second, 8/10 the gap, and closing between him and CSKL. Again, none of these drivers really have made pit stops except for Galactic and Matt, who ended up DNFing his car. So all these guys running on somewhat decently worn tires, and it's going to be quite the question how they are making do with these more worn surfaces. So, yeah, post-race, we will be going straight into the Grand Prix, so there won't be interviews from the sprint, but after our race, there will be top three. We will go ahead and talk to our podium. So make sure you're staying tuned as we are looking forward to that. But right now we sit 2 laps to go here in the Saudi Arabian F2 sprint race. So again, you can see Tom just trying everything he can right now. He's got a nice run. Can he make it work? Oh my gosh, he's getting so close as we are coming around to the last lap, and they are nose to nose. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by JB's Deflated Kirby for our sprint race. And here they come. They are side by side down the front straightaway. A beautiful sector by Tom. He gets purple number 3 as he's going to try to wheel it on the inside. Whoa, he forces CSKL to go wide, but he is there. You can see them side by side currently running right on each other. They know how important these points are, and they are doing everything they can to get it as we ride on board, as we watch the Carlin driver of Tom do everything he can here. As we look behind us plays, it looks pretty solidly in the 3rd place position, regardless of time penalty. But man, here he comes. Big run down the straightaway. Will he have anything to do? And oh, they lag a little bit. I was going to say he put the bumper to the back of him, but it looks like they lag a little bit, but he's still trying inside. Just about. He's doing everything he can right now. CSKL knows how important this win and points will be, but Tom wants to be guilty and take it from him. We'll see what happens here coming down to the final sector of the track coming up here. Will he have anything left? It's 2/10 the gap for the lead. Say these two wreck for whatever reason and plays passes them both, and the time penalty doesn't affect. You can see something out of them as here we come right down to the finish. They're going to be right all over each other. Will Tom be able to make a move? They're going to be side by side going into the final corner. Who's going to be able to get it off of exit? You can see a deep stride by CSKL, but it's going to be Tom. A nice run off the end. We got a wreck out back that's not important. Still going to be side by side right down to the line. And it looks like CSKL is going to be able to hang on with Tom right next to him. And look at plays. Regardless of the time penalty, he was able to get right up there and rattle their feathers a little bit. That is what you love to see in the leagues like this, even though this league has just started up a handful of weeks ago. Seeing nice close battles for race position and all these guys having a good time. So congratulations to CSKL. He's going to get the maximum here on the sprint points as Tom sits right in there with him in second place. Going to finish off the podium if he comes on the podium for our sprint race. Ghoul's going to be second, or 4th, I apologize. I was going to keep going through, but the game said no thank you. There you go, Tom gets driver of the day as he almost edged into that victory lane. Man, he got close. Well, let's take a quick look here at our full results because I was trying to say it before and the game said, yeah, screw you too. Take a look here. CSKL is going to win the sprint, followed by Tom right there next to him. He had the fastest lap as well. That is 15 and 14 points a pair, so pretty good for them. Tom going to get P2. Play is going to finish off that podium. He has a 3-second penalty. He still is able to manage P3. Ghoul is going to get 4th for Campos, along with Iron in 5th, Galactic Snipe 6th, Someone number 1 7th, Bop 8th with a DNF, Matt with a DNF, and same with JB. So again, we're looking forward to seeing kind of how things are going to shake up heading into the race, and I'm happy to bring you all along for it. So you can see here, quick little look at incidents, a lot of warnings for these guys. And yeah, there you go. Only pit stop that we saw officially was Matt. for his front wing. And yeah, that's basically everything we got for you. Again, you can look, I'm flipping between the screens. The only thing that really changes is the overlay. Same results between them, pretty much. As you can see, CSKL right there, and then there is your current points heading into the race. So again, these are very important to take a look at, because going through, these points are just going to get closer and closer. So every point, regardless of whether it is the Grand Prix or pre-race or the sprint, really anything, it all matters just as much. As we return to our totally favorite camera of the paddock, getting ready for this Grand Prix. We're going to go ahead and be right back. Want to say thank you all for tuning in with us thus far, as we're looking forward to putting on a good show for you guys. There we go. Now under our formation lap, getting ready for the big show. Again, now you can see how they all play out here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it almost looks to me like now the actual race is being scored off of, or the starting grid is off of qualifications. So that's weird. That's not something I've seen before. But either way, I'm looking forward to it. So let's take a quick look at our grid once again. We have Tom on pole today. We'll see what he can do. Had the fastest lap in the sprint and was this close to winning the race. Ghoul's in second. CSKL sprint race winner in third, plays fourth. Iron Boog in fifth. Somewhat number one. P6, Galactic Snipe seventh. Bop has came back to the lobby. He will start eighth. Oh my God, they almost hit each other. JB will be starting ninth, and Matt will round out the top 10. So we'll see what these folks can do. As again, we know the game isn't perfect, but these drivers are on the ready no matter what. So we'll kind of take a look here and see what happens between all these folks. So yeah, this is pretty cool. 14 laps of show, just going to be a touch longer than the sprint race, and pit stops will be included. So we'll take a look here and see what these folks can do. And again, want to say thank you all for being here with us. My name is XR Frosty. Make sure you're following the socials, JBRL, on TikTok, Instagram, and we have our Discord server up as well. This race will be going straight to YouTube following post-race festivities. So make sure that you are keeping up to date with all of the news, race days, and everything in between for the league. And yeah, looking forward to it. You can see all the drivers warming up their tires, getting ready to go, as they know it's now or never for these points. So we'll kind of take a look and see how everybody lines up. See if I can get a little bit of a better angle on the starting grid this time. I don't think I will. I hate how we're always looking behind. I want to look forward. That'd be cool, but it is what it is. So Plays missed his pit stop a little bit. Same with JB. See, like I can't do anything better. So there we go. 5 lights on the grid. Tom's gonna lead them. It's lights out, and away we go. Somebody's going backwards. It's lights out, and away we go. We are green flag for the Formula 2 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix from Jeddah. Ghouls gets a brilliant jump. He is going to line up just ahead of Tom. Plays his teammate in P3, and the field will fumble out behind him. I believe that may have been JBTC in the back. On my end, it looked like he started rolling the race in reverse. I don't know how. It might be a game glitch of some sorts, but again, everybody all up within each other here. If you take a look on the top left side of your screen, you can see interval from car to car. So say to everybody in DRS right now, that'll enable on lap 3, then everybody would have DRS, but if you set it to leader, you can kind of see the gap here already, really close on each other. I think that it's going to be, once again, a good race between Ghouls, Tom, Snipe, CSKL, all these people. We'll see kind of how strategy will play into speed. as we continue to work through this race. Again, 14 laps of distance. There will be a pit stop required, so we'll kind of see how this all continues to play out. As we saw a 141, I believe it was, or like a 142 low right there, would be where the sprint's fastest lap was. So we'll see if these drivers can replicate it here as we ride on board with race leader. And looks like Iron Boog has lagged out. His car will still be moving, but he's just invisible for the current moment. So we'll see if we can get him back in here, which tough break for him as he gets past. But it looks like Ghoul's gonna lead the first lap, a 144.4. 464. It's awesome. But yeah, Ghoul's gonna lead the first lap here, driving his whatever team that is. Hang on. Driving his Campos racing machine. He's in first. His teammate who won the sprint race, currently racing with Galactic Snipes for P4. We'll kind of see how that goes. As that looks to be the Alpine Junior C, as you can see Alpine on the back end. But yeah, so there they are. Everybody really working to get up there. Let's take a quick look at, oh, that's a bop. He sits in the 7th position right now, trying to make up a little bit of time. Well, that's one thing that I do find weird. He's driving for High Tech Grand Prix, but we'll move up to Tom. Same livery, but Carlin. That's weird how they distribute that, almost like AlphaTauri and Toro Rosso. They have High Tech and Carlin. But, I don't know, it'll be something cool to take a look at. As again, Ghoul's going to lead by a solid amount, just a little bit under a second. Tom trying to maintain that gap so that he can get DRS next lap. And we'll kind of see how everything plays out. Again, no overtake for these guys, so they just got to go right off of speed and pace, which is the same thing. And we'll kind of see how they play out. So let me quickly make sure my audio is included on here, because I had that happen to me once. That was not very good. But yeah, you take a look here now. Tom is starting to close the gap again. When we see DRS, you'll be able to see these guys much more aggressive. As again, in Formula 1, they have ERS and DRS, and they can afford to be a little bit wild with a 142.8 by Tom as we ride on board. Those drivers will be much more aggressive using ERS, but in F2, they don't have that. So it is solely off of, nick the wall a little bit, doesn't look like much change. They solely are going off of driver skill, and obviously DRS if you are within a second of the car behind, which the only 2 drivers in the field right now that would be eligible would be Bop and Galactic, teammates running 5th and 8th. But yeah, you can see here, these drivers are really going for it as Ghouls just continues to drive away. It looks like he's waving goodbye to the to the folks out back as he gets a purple Sector 1. And we continue to look out back now. CSKL getting ready to utilize some overtake here. Overtake, of course. DRS only break into the zone down towards the end of the straightaway, as you can see here. He rides on in 4th, trying to work in on one of those Carlin cars. I apologize if you got to look at the halo to see who they are. He's trying to get as much DRS as he can down the straightaway once it enables. And so you'll see there it is. He's got DRS in the car ahead of him. Can he make the move going into this corner? Take a look. Again, being patient is key, but when you know that there are going to be less opportunities to strike, you really do have to be aggressive. So there goes Iron. He's back. And oh, we got a wreck out back. Not really sure where it was. Oh, there's Matt. Tough break for him. As he's going to fall back to last. He DNF'd in the sprint race, but the car still looks to be relatively okay right now, so we'll see what happens there. And Iron Boog will be back soon, as he's just rejoined our lobby. But yeah, you take a look at that. So Ghouls in first, Tom in second. CSKL gets to third, and with the help of DRS, gets the fastest lap thus far. I wish that it would pop up in like a little purple lighting, because if I go like this and I set it to fast lap, you can see it, but at the same time, it's definitely weird. So, anyways, you take a look here. Plays now gets right back ahead of CSKL. They are... Actually, it almost looks like there's quite a gap for him. It looked like he was just in third. Okay, that's interesting. So again, as I continue to cycle my way through the field, you can see Galactic Snipes and Bop teammates now falling into 6th and 7th. JB to 8th. Iron Boog is back. Oh, and Bop gets a time penalty as we're talking about him. And look at that, Matt all over the back end trying to get the pass. And oh, we got a wreck out back. It's JB. Tough break by him as it looks like, I don't even know. I believe he's just trying to be careful and not get a DSQ for going backwards. But it looked like he may have wrapped the curb a little bit too much, hooked the car, and those tires are going to be what we like to call here toast. They might have to go ahead and pit that car. That's not good for him. And Bop lags out too, as the lobby seems to be having some slight issues. But back towards the lead, Tom is within a second. He is starting to utilize that DRS. Will he be able to get a run? As you can see, the way that we, from the fan perspective, are able to see when the DRS is enabled is that rear wing, to those who don't know, will start to open up, and you see that airspace right in. We're going to ride on with Tom as he gets ready to make his move for the lead. You see how it opens up and then watch as it closes again. That is extra air being able to flow through the race car that gives you more speed. And for pretty much all the racetracks when it's not raining, that is relevant if you're within a second of the car behind. It keeps racing close and also rewards driver skill and positioning. So as you take a look here, the Carlin driver, he was so close to beating, what's that team? He was so close to beating the Campos car in the sprint, but that was CSKL. Now, as we look into the actual race, he is right back in the same boat, but now he's racing Ghouls, but again, still hanging in that DRS zone. So there we go. See a nice run off the exit. He's trying to maximize the throttle, get as close as he can, because he knows the DRS will be offered here towards the end of this lap. And you can see the gap beginning to close. Someone number one looking to be closing in on Galactic Snipes as well. Same with Matt and Bop. So we'll kind of see there. Yep, there's a position swap as you have to take a quick look. Again, no overtake. So it is solely off of driver's skill and a little bit of DRS to help you out. So this is going to be a much tighter show, as you can see everybody really, besides 7th on back, really close to each other. We have a crash out back. It looks to have been, I'm not sure, Iron. He spins it around. Take a look at his tire compound. He's on the medium, so I don't know how much that's going to hurt him, but definitely an unfortunate break. Him and JB both have had very much problems here as he cuts that corner. Both of those drivers have had issues maintaining their tires so far in this race. Hopefully we can see some sort of caution or a rebound from those guys, as I doubt. And oh gosh, sideways, he's ripping it off that corner. But out back, the fight for the lead and the fight for third is continuing to ramble on. As you can see here, Plays trying to get up into third right behind what would be his teammate Tom in the grid, trying to get that run. And the same deal for Tom. He's trying to close in and make an attempt to pass Ghouls, as Ghouls has led every lap so far. Tom was on the pole, but Ghouls was able to rattle it away on the race start, and he is currently driving off with us. So we'll see how these guys work, as you can see all the sparks flying out back. Man. But you know, Jeddah is a fun track. It never disappoints here in the JBRL and in a lot of leagues. Very nicely prepared by EA Sports and Codemaster. This is a fun track to race on for sure. And it always creates strong racing from start to finish. As you can see here, pretty quiet day right now. Only real penalty goes to Bop, who is once again not with us. Not sure what happened to him, but he either lagged out or went ahead and left. And unfortunate circumstance for him that will have him continue to fall back, and along with penalties. And no, it's Iron. We feel for him. I think that now may be a good time to pit that car, as he is really not having a good time in the 9th position. He's just trying to make sure that tire doesn't fall off. That's unfortunate. The same deal with JB out back. He is stopped on the course. If he cannot get the car moving, it looks like the exact same position. He could get a disqualification, or I'm surprised it wasn't some sort of BSC, as we have multiple cars stopped. But 9th and 10th is really having a lackluster performance, and you can see here it looks like we may have had an incident with Tom while we were talking about the rest of the field. Oh, no. I guess I jumped the gun a little bit. Drivers beginning their pit stops. You can see Tom went in. I believe Bob I went in along with Galactic and Plays, that should be. Drivers beginning their pit stops is now, if you look right next to the interval on your screen, we're going to move it to tires. And you got to take a quick look and see how the field's standing up. Our current top 5, led by the Campos cars, is going to be Ghouls and CSKL, both of them on 6-lap old mediums. We'll see if they choose to double stack here or just continue to kind of strain out those pit stops. Someone number 1 currently sitting 3rd on 6-lap old medium. Same with Titanium Matt. Tom is the front-running driver on new tires. He is on fresh softs. Might be a little bit cold still. And then we also can see Galactic Snipes on the mediums, Plays on the softs, again, both fresh. Iron has yet to make a pit stop, and JB on 2-lap old mediums, so we'll see how that pans out for these guys. As you can see, we'll take a look, see what happens here with the leaders. Will he come in? Yes, he will, so that's going to, more than likely, unless they opt to double stack, going to transfer the lead to CSKL. Oh. For a minute, I was like, they may be double stacking, so that's interesting. But yeah, so these guys continuing to chip away as you are going to be able to slowly watch Tom work his way up through the field, and that is surprising that Ghouls is still. Apologies. What I was saying though was, you can see definitely a pretty big gamble by Tom to pit a lap earlier, and it appears to have worked as he is going to come out ahead of Ghouls, which could change the complexity of this race as the top 3 have yet to make their stop. So this is getting incredibly close between the two. This could be the battle for the win here in a handful of laps. But yeah, no, it is starting to get wild here. As CSKL, again, someone and Titanium Matt have yet to make pit stops here. I believe they're all on the mediums. You can see nice camera angle coming out of that corner. That's my favorite satisfaction corner right there, because you can see a really nice camera angle. But yeah, no, Tom, he is on fresher tires. He is on the soft compound. I believe same with Ghouls. If I can get a better angle. Yeah, they're both on the softs. Ghouls 1 lap fresher, but Tom was able to pounce earlier and get that track position, so we'll see if he can run away with it, as again, both these drivers will have DRS sooner or later. But yeah, we'll see kind of what happens here at the top 3. We'll take a quick look on board with these drivers as they wrap it around to get ready to come onto the front stretch. JB looking to be close to a lap down and other sorts, as again, Tom and Ghouls. I'm going to go take a quick look at them because, again, you see that DRS is open, and oh, is he going to make the move? He tries to block. And it looks like Ghouls is going to be able to get it done. Will Tom be able to counterattack here as they battle? And you can see the leaders all coming in the pit. And what is about to be likely the fight for the lead, they're going to be side by side. Beautiful lap by Tom. And yep, just as we predicted, side by side, only with about 5 laps to go or so. And they are still all over each other. Man, the 20 car almost didn't leave the space. That was very close. A smart move by Carlin Racing's Tom to get off of the gas there so that he wouldn't get turned around by a driver error from the other machine. So again, think smarter, not harder. That's one of the biggest things to win in these Grand Prix races. And Tom is trying to get it done here as we ride just above this helmet cam. I don't even know this was a camera. But yeah, you can continue to see through the field here. It is really becoming spread out. No real cautions just yet. We've had 2 sector yellows for different single car spins, but we have not seen an actual caution on the racetrack. It looks like we may, technically speaking, have a full race green. So you can see where the field is kind of lining up. Unfortunately for JB, he is very close to losing a lap, and he is quite off the pace from the rest of the field in the current moment, following an unfortunate hope of events for him. So he's pretty far back there. Bop, again, not in the race anymore. We're not sure if he opted just to leave because he wasn't going to have a chance, or if he had to go for whatever reason, or maybe a lag out. So he's at 9th. Iron Boog all by himself, really in 8th position. Matt, following his pit stop, he is in the 7th spot. And then someone number 1 in 6th, and he is right on the back of CSKL for 5th. and CSKL was our sprint race winner. So now you can see here, Ghouls, while we're sitting here talking about the whole wide world, Ghouls gets back around Tom, but that gap continues to stay incredibly close. You can see Ghouls was able to remake the pass on Tom with the power of DRS and being able to take advantage of his resources. We'll see if Tom can be able to counterattack. It looked like he had a little bit of a harder time in the sprint race using that interval to make the passes that he needed to. But we'll see if there's anything else he can do. It's a really nice sector one by Ghouls. Surprise, yeah, that was purple. Probably a perfect lap by Ghouls thus far, with both of them on the same tire compound, but his tires are 1 lap newer. So that is not what Tom wants to see as that car continues to get further away. He knows that that could be the end of his chances, but as they stick within 8/10 as they run right now, he'll still get that DRS opportunity. So we'll kind of see how it pans out. If we get a caution here, then the entire complexity of the race is definitely going to change. But it doesn't look like that's going to be so, as again the field spread out, and right there it stays at 1 second. Yikes. Because now they are going to start to get that overtake DRS, and I don't think that he's going to be able to get it. Beautiful view of Saudi Arabia, Jeddah racetrack. You can see all the water. That is one of the best views ever, you know. One of the most satisfying colors to the human eye is neon in the right outlook when it is not as bright as the sun. So that is really cool. I love this racetrack. The aesthetic that it brings is pretty cool. As Ghouls once again hits a very strong lap. That's about 2/10 faster than the fastest lap in our sprint race, as Tom is just beginning to fall back just inch by inch. He knows that there isn't much else he can really do except try to put these perfect laps together, which Ghoul is doing very well as well. Nice! CSKL, our sprint winner. He is using that DRS very nicely. He jumps into the fastest lap area as he is all over the back bumper of Galactic, trying to get that podium for third. And you can see now we begin to have a little bit of a battle, striking all the way back from someone number one up to Galactic Snipes. They are all within a blanket of each other. As these guys are like hungry hippos. They want that podium. They want to breathe the fresh air of being on one of those steps, and they're doing everything they can to get it right now. As you can see now, someone beginning to fall back just a touch, but Galactic, CSKL, and Plays all over each other. Here comes the move by the Campos car. Can he make it stick? Ugh, close. Close by him, but again, they're all over each other. And while they're sitting here having this battle, someone number one could be very close to an overtake opportunity or a DRS opportunity, and that could continue to change the complexity of this fight for the third position. Again, quick update on the leaders as there goes CSKL, gets a nose ahead. Ghouls and Tom, 1.4 seconds the gap. Not much changing here as they are matching each other's laps. But you can see here, again, a crazy battle. CSKL gets a nice push out in front of this battle, but Galactic, Snipes, and Plays both have DRS. So we'll see how that affects them. As once CSKL gets into that podium spot, you can see the gap went from like 2/10 to the car ahead of him to 19 seconds. So everybody behind him, as long as they keep their composure, will have will have DRS, but he will not. We look at 3 laps to go here in this afternoon's race here in Jeddah, and yeah, continuing. You can see the sparks everywhere. Imagine being in the real life driver's seat and having that. We have a Sector 2 crash. Not sure where. No, multiple cars. Big crash. Way out towards the back. Plays and someone collect each other, and they take all of their hopes for a strong finish, and it is out the window as another wreck by Iron. As right here will be a very nice time for a VSC, as we just saw hell break loose, but I don't think that we're going to get it as the cars are so spread out. But man, that, I would say that changes everything. That doesn't change very much for the leaders, as I think Tom really wanted a VSC right there. But that almost locks up CSKL for a podium. Again, I know it's not the finish he wanted, being the sprint race winner, but sometimes these things happen. It is what it is. We continue to take a look up here through the field. Now it looks like JB's starting to get closer to Iron Moog. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough time, though. You can see he has cars on his back end that looks to be possibly the leader. Nope, I apologize. Not sure entirely who it is. There might be someone. Never mind. Yes, JB follows what I would expect to be a lap down here as we are at 2 laps to go for OXZ Ghouls. He had a really strong start to the race, being able to take the lead going into turn number 1 regardless of not having that first starting spot. So he's been running really solid all race long. Tom currently sitting in second, CSKL in third, and you can see him racing what I would believe to be the lapped car of JB. So, again, tough race for him as he is... Oh, Tom gets a time penalty as well. That's pretty big. And if that wasn't the nail on the coffin, I don't know what is, as he was just starting to gain a little bit of time back. Gets nudged with a 3-second time penalty, so that makes it really 4.4 seconds. So that may be the end of his bet to win this race. But OZX Ghouls is really chilling right there in the catbird seat, trying to get the victory here today for his team. And going into this race, oh, that's a bop, had the points lead. Coming out of it, it may not be the same story to tell. So we'll see what happens here as we ride on board with the race leader for Campos. All he has to do is put together one more good lap, and he will be set to win this race. See if he can do it as he's coming around again. I believe, if I can find the right detail for once, fastest lap time goes to CSKL, but he is really close, so we'll see if we can just put together this one more perfect lap. Brought to you by JB's half-deflated Kirby. And then we will take a look here as I'll get off of this poopy camera. You can see here we slowly pan through the field. But even though I know this hasn't been the most interesting race really to look at because the cars have been spread out, you got to give a hand to these drivers. They put all of their effort, their sweat, their energy into making these races and putting on a good show for you all. And I'm telling you, in Formula 2, speed is the key as Ghouls is continuing to drive away as it is starting to fade on Tom's race car. So yeah. Take a look at the field. We'll go from the back to the front one more time. There's JB in 10th, not having a great day. But he still manages to get a point. Oh, big cut by Iron. Surprised that wasn't a time penalty. Good thing we caught that clip. The AI of Bob, not sure if he'll get scored in the end. He sits 8th. Someone 7th place, 6th. Galactic 5th. Titanium Matt, regardless of not having the best sprint race, he's currently up to 4th. Oh my gosh, give him the driver of the day. CSK out 3rd. Tom continuing to lose time in 2nd, but the talk of the town has been Ghouls. He has had such a strong weekend here in Jeddah. We saw he wasn't the fastest in the sprint race, but once we got the lights out at the official start of the Grand Prix, he was flying. And what an impressive show by him as he rounds off the final corner for Formula 2. It's going to be OZX Ghouls. You see him having a little bit of a celebration left, right. He's going to win the Formula 2 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Going to put Tom in 2nd, 5 seconds back officially. And then we watch the fight behind him. It is going to be pretty well spaced out here for the rest of the grid. As you can see, the closest battle we have is Galactic trying to make a move. Not sure if he'll get it, though. P3, it's going to be a double podium for Campos. CSKL completes it, and Titanium Matt, the GOAT, the sleeper, going to end up in P4 with Galactic right on his tail in P5. And you can see behind him the field comes to Strand, and oh, JB disqualified coming back. That is not a good look for the league owner. But behind him we have, oh, that's a bop, looping around to the checkered, same with Iron Bog, and I am to be questioned what happened to JB there. I wonder if there may have been some sort of contact. That's interesting. As you can see, it says regardless of the checkered flag being out, that we have a yellow sector in 1. So that's interesting. I guess tough break for JB, but as we continue to wrap around these corners, Bop being an AI, we're not sure if he'll get scored with that finishing position, but he officially or unofficially comes around in 8th. And then to finish it off, it's going to be Iron. I know he hasn't had the best race, but he will continue to fight from start to finish. Never gave up. That's the mentality that a driver has to have to get it done here, and he'll still get points. So P9 for him and a disqualification on JB's record. So there you go, the flag waves. And there's your Grand Prix, folks. So there you go. OZX Ghouls. Brilliant run, outstanding by him to hold off the coming Carlin car. Really strong race by all these people. And they are, yeah. Take a look at that. Probably one of the weirdest celebrations I've seen. Do a little kick with the boot. And there is your podium. Excellent race by all three of these guys. And really the whole field. That was a really close race from start to finish. Congratulations to everybody. You can see the mechanics all cheering as well. And there is the podium celebration for these folks. Yeah, take a drink. Thank you all for watching this afternoon's race. It's the JBRL from Jeddah. Next week, I'll let you, if I can figure it out. Next week, I don't even know. It's not there. Feel bad. But we'll be back 1 week away from today. The field comes back and you can take a look and see here weekend results where everybody lined up points-wise. Excellent job by these guys. Ghouls gets a nice amount of points now. If I can click advance. Go to the sprint race. There's your race results. We had CSKL, Tom Plays, Ghouls, Iron Bog for the top 5. And then we had Galactic, Someone, Bop, Titanium JB, and then we moved to the race. And we see Ghouls, Tom, CSKL, your top 3, Campos, Carlos Campos. Dams Driver, Titanium Matt gets a very nice run in 4th. He started all the way back in 10th on the grid, so excellent performance by him. Galactic Snipes gets 5th. Plays 6th, Someone number 1 in P7, Bop 8th, with Iron Bog in 9th, and JB with the DQ in 10th. See if I can find incidents here. I'm curious to see what happened to JB. It doesn't even say it. Maybe some sort of glitch. But anyways, want to say thank you all for watching this afternoon show. And I know that you guys aren't really used to hearing my voice, as I'm not really the commentator, but I surely did have a good time showing you all this race. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, look at that. So that's going to do it for us here from the Formula One booth. I want to say once again, congratulations to all these hardworking drivers, especially OZX Ghouls. And there you have it. That's the end of this race. I want to say thanks to everybody. And Force Dust and Void Moon will be back next week. This is XR Frostballs filling in. But once again, this was a really fun show to commentate. It's been a while. So I want to say thanks to everybody that tuned in this afternoon. This has been XR Frosty. The JBRL at Jeddah has came to a conclusion, and we want to thank everybody for watching here with us right around the 1 hour mark for the stream. This has been awesome. This is Frosty coming down to the Twitch studio, and have a great day and good night.